In February of this year, the Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee, a group of the nation's top experts on health and nutrition, issued their 571-page report detailing the latest in scientific research as it pertains to diet and health. The Advisory Committee are the experts that advise the policymakers. They themselves do not write the policy. That, of course, is reserved for the government. In this case, the USDA. Among the report was a particularly shocking line to me, one that gave me great hope. It read, "Current evidence shows that the average U.S. diet has a larger environmental impact in terms of increased greenhouse gas emissions, land use, water use, and energy use. This is because the current U.S. population intake of animal-based foods is higher and plant-based foods are lower." The experts recommended that the USDA consider sustainability when making its recommendations on health and nutrition, and with that in mind, to recommend people favor a more plant-based diet and eat less meat, dairy, and eggs. Well, on Tuesday, the government said, no thanks. Secretary Vilsack said, "This is a matter of scope. We do not believe that the 2015 Dietary Guidelines for Americans are the appropriate vehicle for this important policy conversation about sustainability." And I have to say, I agree. Sustainability has nothing to do with health. Water certainly isn't a public health issue, so it doesn't matter that it takes 660 gallons of water to produce just one hamburger, or 1,000 gallons of water to produce a gallon of milk, or that the meat and dairy industry uses a third of Earth's fresh water. It doesn't matter that animal agriculture accounts for 55% of all water use in the United States, while personal water use is just 5%. Waste and pollution have nothing to do with health, so it doesn't matter that the waste from a 2,500 dairy cow farm is equivalent to the waste from a 411,000 person city, or that every minute 7 million pounds of excrement are produced by animals in the US. Excrement that has to go somewhere. And that somewhere is holding ponds that reek and are putrid and kill farm workers and pollute communities, and then eventually run off into rivers and streams and cause massive dead zones in the oceans. That certainly has nothing to do with health. Climate change certainly won't affect human health, so it doesn't matter that livestock and their byproducts account for at least 51% of all worldwide greenhouse gas emissions, or that cows produce 150 billion gallons of methane per day, or that the carbon footprint of a vegan is less than half that of a meat eater. It certainly doesn't matter that animal agriculture is the leading cause of species extinction, ocean dead zones, water pollution, and habitat destruction worldwide, because that has nothing to do with health. It doesn't matter that it takes 1/6 of an acre to feed a vegan for a year and 18 times as much land to feed a meat eater, or that livestock covers 45% of Earth's total land. The reports that we may see a fishless ocean by 2048 certainly have nothing to do with human health. And just because animal agriculture is responsible for up to 91% of Amazon deforestation doesn't mean it has an impact on my health. Sure, 80% of antibiotics sold in the US are for livestock, but I know that won't affect my health either. And it doesn't matter that we can grow 15 times more protein on any given area of land with plants than animals. That's definitely not a health issue. No, USDA, you got it right. I am sure you weren't in any way influenced by the meat and dairy industry. There's zero chance that that affected your decision because, as I've just stated, none of the hundreds of ways animal agriculture is an environmental catastrophe can be linked in any way to personal human health. You're right, this issue is totally out of your scope. Of course, animal products are also linked to pretty much all of our nation's top killers like cancer, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and Alzheimer's. But we could overlook that too, right?